This episode of the Jesse Blake Sports Report is brought to you by papersnaildesigns.com. That's papersnaildesigns.com. And yes, I did say snail because the logo for Paper Snail merch is a snail. It's a cute little snail. And I got to tell you about Paper Snail Designs. It's a company started by Jasmine Hall out of Calgary, Alberta. And it's a way for Jasmine, who's a graphic designer, to showcase our art. She's decided to do it through clothing. And they sell t-shirts, hoodies, snapbacks, and some of their designs also come in little cute stickers. And the Paper Snail Designs, if you haven't seen them places, just check them out. They're these adorable little snails, and they come in super comfy hoodies and t-shirts. And as a graphic designer, Jasmine just wants an outlet for people to see her different designs as she works her way through the industry. And what better way to do it than sharing snug clothing through an adorable snail? So go to papersnaildesigns.com and use the code SDPN. You'll get 15% off of your order. That's papersnaildesigns.com. 15% off of your order with the code SDPN. Check it out.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Bronny James, LeBron James' son, was selected 55th overall in the second round of the NBA draft on Thursday afternoon by the Los Angeles Lakers. And next season, when Bronny and LeBron play together eventually, they will become the first ever father-son duo to ever play in the NBA at the same time together and on the same team. It's historic when they first will suit up together next season. And there's a lot of people upset about how Bronny ended up in LA because shortly before he was drafted, in the middle of the second round-ish, ESPN was showing the broadcast. They're showing the draft. And Bob Myers, who's on the ESPN panel now, he works at ESPN, former general manager of the Golden State Warriors, had the exclusive. He had the report. And he said that Rich Paul, who is LeBron James's agent and subsequently Bronny James's agent, has been telling teams that if you draft Bronny, he will not play for you. He will go to Australia. He will find some other way to sit out and play basketball, but he won't be playing for your NBA team. Leave him. Don't draft him until the Lakers get their second round selection, 55th overall, and they will take him and he will be able to play with LeBron James. And a lot of people are upset at that, hearing that the process was that, hearing the transparency in the process where Rich Paul is literally manipulating the situation so that Bronny can end up in LA. And we shouldn't be surprised that this takes place. This happens at a lesser level, just amongst players who aren't named Bronny James. Players have places they want to be drafted, and they will tell teams. They will not work out for teams. They will tell them in subtle ways and not so subtle ways that this player wants to be here or does not want to be here. So I don't have many gripes with what Rich Paul did. And I frankly think everybody should be really happy for Bronny and LeBron James, because we need to put into perspective here how impossible it is for Bronny and LeBron to be playing together. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen that LeBron James, in year 21 of his career, to still have the ability to play at a very high level. We all know he's not height of where he was LeBron, but to just be a very good top-level NBA player at this point in his career and still have the influence and power within the game to see where he came from 21 years ago, from when he was drafted to where he is now. For the fact that LeBron is still LeBron and in this league and birthed this child, Bronny James, who grew up to eventually be drafted, is impossible. This shouldn't be possible at the surface level of what is happening. And I think we should first appreciate the history of that before we get to the criticism of a Nepo baby and LeBron manipulating the situation. Just be like, oh, this is sick to witness something cool. And if you don't think that it's cool or whatever, fine. But Bronny is still going to earn his spot in the NBA once he once he gets there. It's not like, okay, Bronny's drafted and now he just gets the seat on the Lakers bench. Bronny still has to earn his place in this league, and he's going to take a little bit. He's not LeBron coming out of high school. He's not anywhere close to that. He's going to grow into his NBA 6'7" wingspan. A lot of people making a big deal about Bronny being 6'1". He has a 6'7" wingspan, which is ridiculous. He is an NBA fit. And if he grows into the player and the potential he has, he's an NBA player. Whether it's a role player, whether it's a starter, whether he's just a career bench guy who bounces around, who knows what he's going to grow into. But things you can bank on is that he's going to have a work ethic similar to LeBron James, who, at the start of this point, is doing something absolutely historic by being in the league long enough at this level to play with Bronny. All of this should just be appreciated, I think, on the surface level for what it is and what a record-breaking accomplishment it is for Bronny and LeBron to play together. And that's kind of where I'm sitting with this. The process, I don't care that Rich Paul did all this thing. You think Rich Paul doesn't manipulate a million things every day to his liking? It's just because it's out in the open now, people might have a problem with it. But Rich Paul and LeBron James and every powerful agent and GM and president and owner, they all manipulate things to their fitting. And this guy, LeBron James, is the one of top 2 greatest players of all time. Rich Paul is one of the most powerful agents of all time. If they are in a situation to make history and they use and wield their power to do it, more power to them. I think we should appreciate this. When they suit up, Bronny and LeBron, it's going to be history, and it's going to be an impossible task that they achieve. And shout out Bronny himself, who worked his way back from a cardiac arrest in the fall to be drafted about, what was that, like 7 months later, and to just play through a season at USC. And who cares about his numbers at USC? It's not about your college numbers. It's about the work you put in practice and what they see in your skill set and your 6'7" wingspan, what you did at Combine Day. Those are the things it's about. It's also about who your dad is. And I'll be watching day one when Bronny and LeBron suit up together as the first father-son duo in NBA history. That is it for me today. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Bo Bichette said some stuff about possibly being traded at the trade deadline. So you're going to hear me talk about that because the Blue Jays are continuing to be the Blue Jays. So that video is coming out tomorrow. Look out for that one on the YouTube channel or on the podcast feed. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world that chose to be listening or watching this right now. And I appreciate you for that. Good night from Toronto.
And that is how it's done.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Jesse Blake, the guy that likes to hear his name twice in one sentence. Sure, I know him. No, he doesn't have an ego at all.